In this chapter, I'd like to talk a little bit about ADORE-SANE, the shark-human interaction concept. ADORE-SANE, these 9 letters are actually mnemonics, and each letter stands for a particular topic of this concept. ADORE mainly focuses on the shark and the environment. SANE mainly focuses on the human being. But both types, ADORE and SANE, influence and affect each other. ADORE-SANE has been created to get an idea what a situation with a shark entails, what factors might influence the shark, might influence you, how we may influence each other, how we create a situation. And it also lets you predict in what area an encounter is more likely, or areas where you should not go in the water based on certain circumstances. ADORE-SANE is a tool to interact with a shark and judge a situation you may end up in better, to a point that you actually can act and react correctly.
Sharks of different species act and react similar in comparable situations, and knowing the common swim patterns makes it most often easy to determine the influencing factors. But since nervousness, or for example the experience level of a diver or any other activity, also comes into play, such factors are also in the concept included to consider as many factors as possible that may influence an interaction. And it can be taken as a fact that when a shark is attracted by a person's presence, it is always because of the person's activity and the mental stage the person is in, since that will also always affect the activity as well. ADORE-SANE does not just help to better understand the situation a person is in with a shark, but also what a shark is doing and what factors influence its behavior. In this example, we can clearly see that the female is irritated by the presence of the shark suckers, and not so much by the pursuing male that would like to mate with her, and that these 2 sharks are not focusing on the person's presence. Here we can ask 2 questions. What is the shark doing? And is something unusual? The shark circles. And what is unusual is that the shark stays at one particular spot below the boat. This shark is conditioned and waits exactly below the kitchen to get some food. ADORE-SANE is a working concept which is constantly adapted and extended. The more information we can gather just about one species from research, observation, and even anecdotal evidence, then we can even go ahead and develop a species-specific ADORE-SANE that entirely focuses on this particular shark species. The general ADORE-SANE is conceptualized in a manner that it is usable for any shark species in any situation. Both parts of ADORE-SANE can be used independently, whereas, again, ADORE primarily focuses on the shark and SANE on the person. Nervous or easily frightened people should focus more on themselves, the SANE part. until some of the factors can be more controlled, and then move on to assess a shark at the situation he or she is in. If the person has problems, be it with the activity as such or general nervousness because of the environment, he or she is not capable of judging a situation correctly. Against common wisdom, the shark's eyes are not dead or cold or anything else that implies an instinct-driven, heartless eating machine. The eyes are actually comparable with humans, with some differences, and even have a similar anatomy. In some aspects, their eyes are even superior to ours. Being very close, one can see that the eyes constantly move, mainly see in a changing eye moon. And the shark really looks at the person, which makes each interaction very personal. Within any human-animal interaction, eyes always play an important role, and this is not different for sharks when interacting with them. The longer one interacts and communicates with sharks, and the more ADORE-SANE is included in such scenarios, the more one acts and reacts naturally, and one starts to position oneself subconsciously, correctly, and knowing not to block escape routes, especially in shallow waters. And one also knows, when in close vicinity of a shark, what one can do and what should be avoided to not frighten or scare off the animal. Although sharks are perfectly adapted to the marine environment, there are still situations where some sensor organs can't be used or just given partial input, as for example when the visibility is very low. In such a situation, a shark is as vulnerable as a person, and he does react as the situation demands.